Nneka, Ginika pleaded, please, I didn't mean to hurt you. I will do anything to make this right. Nneka stared at her for a very long moment, and then she said, go back to the forest and undo what you have done. That night, Ginika made her way to the forbidden forest, just as she had done before, but this time around, her steps were heavy with regret. When she reached the herbalist man's hut, she fell down on her knees before him. Please, she begged, I need to undo this curse. The herbalist man was quiet for a moment, and then he said, the spirit demands their balance, he said. To lift this curse, you must give up something of great value to you. Ginika's heart sank. What do you mean? Your beauty, your charm, the herbalist man said. These are the gifts the spirits gave you, and in return for undoing the curse, they will take all these gifts back. Ginika was quiet for a while. She had always taken pride in her charm and her beauty, the very things that allowed her to stand with someone as radiant as Nneka. Without them, who would she be? But then she remembered what she had done. She remembered Chike's memory's loss and the pain she had caused. She took a deep breath and she nodded. Take whatever you want, just undo the curse. The herbalist man began his work, chanting and casting powers onto the fire. The flame roared, turning a brilliant shade of blue. Ginika felt a strange sensation wash over her, as though a part of her was being pulled away. The ritual was complete, and the herbalist man gave her a small pouch. Sprinkle this over the wedding dress, he instructed, and the curse shall be lifted, and all will go back as it was. Ginika took the pouch and began her journey back into the village. The journey back to Amakoro felt endless, and Ginika walked with every iota of guilt in her. By the time Ginika reached the village, the first rays of dawn were breaking through the clouds. Ginika entered the courtyard. Her face was pale and drawn. Nneka stood in the doorway. Ginika approached Nneka slowly. I have brought the remedy, she said, holding out the pouch. Nneka stared for a long moment before allowing both of them into the room. Inside Nneka's room, the atmosphere was tensed. The wedding dress laid on the table, still stained with damp from the rain. Ginika opened the pouch and sprinkled its contents over the dress, just as the herbalist man had instructed. The dress was now restored to its former glory. As the last of the glow faded, Chike, who had been watching from the corner of the room, suddenly gasped and sneezed. He clutched his head and looked around. His eyes was wide with confusion. Nneka, he said. His voice was trembling. Nneka rushed to his side, tears streaming down her face. Chike, you remember me now? He nodded slowly. His expression was soft. Of course I do. How could I forget you, my love? A cheer erupted outside as word spread that Chike's memory had been restored and the curse had been broken. The whole village had gathered in the courtyard, singing and dancing in celebration. Amidst the joyous celebration, Ginika felt a very strange sensation rippled around her body. She stumbled, clutching the edge of the table for support. What's happening to me? Ginika whispered. Nneka turned to her. Her joy was replaced with concern. Ginika's reflection in the mirror caught their attention. Her once vibrant complexion now seemed dull, and her lively, confident eyes now appeared tired and uncertain. Her charm and her beauty had all faded away. Nneka's breath hitched as she realized that the price had been paid. She has given up the very qualities that made her to stand out in exchange for undoing the harm that she had caused. The whole villagers were quick to notice the change in Ginika, and their feelings were mixed. Some people praised her for her sacrifice, seeing it as a sign of remorse, while others whispered that she got what she deserved. Jealousy is a dangerous thing, one elder said, shaking his head. Let this be a lesson to all of us. But Nneka, the kind-hearted soul refused to let Ginika face the villagers' judgment alone. She stood beside her best friend, addressing the crowd. Ginika has made a mistake, Nneka said. Her voice was strong. But she has also shown that great courage and humility lives within us. We must not condemn her. Instead, we should all learn from and choose to forgive her. The crowd murmured in agreement, and the tension began to ease. With the curse being lifted and Chike's memory being restored, the wedding was rescheduled for the following week. This time around, the skies were clear and the air was filled with laughter and music. The whole villagers came together to ensure the ceremony was even grander than before, as a way to atone for the sorrow of the previous day. Nneka insisted that Ginika would still remain her chief bridesmaid, despite the protests from her family members. "She is my sister," Nneka said firmly, and she had proven her loyalty. Although she allowed jealousy to overcloud her before, but she had shown that she loves me. Ginika was humbled by Nneka's forgiveness. She worked tirelessly to ensure the wedding went perfectly. Although she was no longer carried by the charm and vibrance that once defined her, she had discovered a new strength in her honesty, and she was determined to make amends. The wedding day was a resounding success. Nneka and Chike exchanged their vows under the shade of an iroko tree, and their loved ones were all happy. The drummers played well into the night, and the whole villagers danced until their feet ached. In the following days, Ginika began to rebuild her life. Although she was no longer the center of attention and gatherings, she found solace in quieter pursuits. She began to help the village children to learn how to read and assisting elders with their daily tasks. Nneka and Ginika's friendship, although forever changed, their ordeal taught them both valuable lessons about love, jealousy, and the power of forgiveness.